Morning. Are you trying to lose weight? Are you tired of being hungry and feeling guilty all the time, but you know you need to do something about it? I am Nelia Jordan. I'm a registered dietitian and I want to teach you some skills on how to manage your weight better. These guidelines does not replace a consultation with a dietitian or a nutritionist. And if you need to see a dietitian about any feeding issues, you can contact me at info@neliajordandietitian.co.za or contact a dietitian in your area. Let me take you on a new healthy journey to change your relationship with food. Today, I want to equip you with a new way of thinking about the amount of food that you are supposed to take in. Are you totally lost and it you've got no idea how much food you are supposed to take in, or which eating plan to follow? Or do you know exactly how much food you are supposed to take in, but you struggle to have the control? We are at different places with our weight and our weight control. At times, it can even feel as if, even if you have control, your body has got its own mind and you're gaining weight no matter what you do. This is extremely frustrating, especially in the time that we are aware of being overweight is a risk factor for diabetes and heart problems and high blood pressure. So we need to try to lose our weight. But you have to understand that no one can really tell you exactly how much food you are supposed to take in without very expensive equipment. We can work it out more or less by using a formula, taking your age, your weight, your height, your body fat percentage, and your activity levels. We can take that in consideration and we can work out with a formula more or less how much energy you are supposed to take in. But remember, there are other factors playing a role in your weight loss basket. Um, your medical history plays a very big role. The medication you use can affect your weight. Your hormones plays a balancing role in your weight loss. Your family history is very important. You'll find that there's a lot of new science done on genetics and the environment you were born into that affects your weight. Thank you to your big bone family genes. Your environment and your stress levels play a very big role. And I don't know if you're aware of it, but your sleep and the quality of sleep that you have plays a very, very big role in your weight and especially your appetite and satiety levels. And really, it's not in the balance you want it to. The less you sleep, the more you gain the weight. So, what if you knew exactly how much the amount is that you were supposed to take in? Do you think you would be good? If would you stay on your budget or would you be in debt the whole time? But personally, I feel it makes sense to look at your diet this way instead of an emotional roller coaster, because that tend to once it's an emotional thing, we tend to struggle more and it affects our relationship with everything. So rather look at your way, your eating, the way of energy expenditure and your earnings. And a good explanation was done by two South African dietitians, Gabby Steenkamp and Lisbeth Dalport. So let me use their analogy and explain to you. And say you earn 5,000 Rand a month. And for 6 months, you live out 6,000 Rand a month. Now you are 6,000 Rand in debt. If you go back living out 5,000 Rand a month, remember you don't pay off any debt, but you don't make debt anymore. And for me, I think that's a great place to start. Or you can go back to living out 4,000 Rand a month. That would be very difficult because it's already a 2,000 Rand a month change. And some people are very brave. They say, let me live out 2,000 Rand a month, pay off my debt very quickly. But remember, whatever you decide to save your finances, the fact is, if you don't do some permanent changes, you won't keep your budget or you won't keep your weight. So you have to know what made you gain weight in the first place, or to use our analogy, what made you go into debt. Go back and think long ago when you started gaining weight. Um, Did you gain your weight quick and you maintained it now, or are you still gaining weight? Are you losing weight? That plays a role, because if you are gaining weight very quick, it means that you are far over your budget. If you are more or less the same weight for the past 10 years, it means you are on your budget and you might need just to make a few changes gradually and lose your weight. Or if you are losing weight, you are obviously under your budget. But the ideal would be to rather go a little bit under your budget and not too strict, that you can make permanent changes. Because, we all feel, let me go on a strict diet, lose my weight very quickly, and when I'm thin, I'll know what to do. And I wish it was like that. But because many people do that and they lose weight very quickly, but they don't keep it off. And the reason why we don't keep it off is, one, we don't know how to manage it. If you look at people winning a lot of money at lotteries, there are that do well, but there are people that need assistance in how to manage their money, because some of them tend to make poor decisions that they cannot maintain in future. So what I would recommend as a dietitian is to make small changes and see what happens with your weight. The other problem is our bodies does not always respond well to very strict diet plans and have a tendency to put that weight back again. So the first thing that I would recommend, and that I recommend at my practice also, is to get an app that counts your calories or your kilojoules that we use in South Africa. The app is not a perfect plan, but it can help you to get to know the food industry much better. Remember that we live in a time with a lot of processed foods, and certain foods that make you full doesn't make you fat, but certain foods that make you fat doesn't make you full. And you need to distinguish between the two, because you need to focus overall more on healthy foods. I don't recommend that someone doesn't cheat, because I feel that if you don't cheat, we tend to get more obsessed, and we feel that we miss that food too much, and we get to think that if I'm off this diet, I'm going to have that and that again. But overall, when you have those foods again, you might gain the weight again. So rather budget your earnings much better. Work in cheats. So if you have an app, and even if you're not good with your weight loss already, and you can just count on the app how many kilojoules you are currently taking in and what happens on the scale, it gives you an idea how much your earnings are currently. And then if you make changes, say you cut 1,000 kilojoules, then you can see what happens on the scale. Or if you cut 2,000 kilojoules, you can see what happens on the scale. The ideal is obviously to go to a dietitian that can work out a meal plan for you as a baseline, and then you can follow that. But I do recommend a 10% cheating in your diet plan. I would rather focus on slower weight loss, and you learn how to cheat a little bit and to manage your weight like that, than cutting out your cheatings totally. And as I say, then you overeat at times or when you cheat so badly that you go into 20,000 Rand in debt again, and then you go back to 4,000 Rand in debt, and then it becomes a lifelong struggle. So the second thing that I would do is learn to eat more of the foods that make you full, and learn to love healthy foods. Because remember, healthy foods are very good for you first. But the second thing is healthy foods doesn't make you gain weight so quickly than processed foods. Processed foods are much higher in energy. So even if you don't eat a lot of it, you might gain weight quickly. So you need to be full or have a feeling of fullness, and healthy foods assist with that. So I would start your weight loss journey to look at the amounts of food, what you eat, and see what happens on the scale. Then obviously you have to have an exercise program. Exercise does more for you than you think. Exercise plays a role with weight loss, but unfortunately, not in the amount that we hope it would. You really need to exercise extremely hard if you want exercise to assist you a lot in weight loss. Otherwise, it does assist you, but in other ways also. It helps with your feeling good hormones, and it helps you. It helps with the hormones that help to lose the weight, not only with the energy you burn. So, the exercise helps you more than you think. Remember, also, I love eating. I try to have control of my eating. Mostly I do. I love healthy eating. But at times I really do lose control and I have to start over again. But I've stopped thinking of weight loss as a short term thing that I'm going to do and then I'm going to go back to another way of eating. You have to develop something that is permanent. So that is why slower weight loss is more successful because then you develop more permanent changes. So we are meant to eat. I really want to put emphasis on this. You are supposed to enjoy food. There is nothing wrong with loving food and loving the wrong foods. That is how we are designed. And remember that food has never been the enemy. Start with that in mind if you want to lose weight. I will be thinking of you, and hopefully, we can share this journey together if you let me. Step by step, by changing your approach and using the correct tools, you can enjoy food the way it was supposed to be enjoyed.